Lots been said written about blues legend B.B. King. Born in the Mississippi Delta, he would eventually make his way from the farms to the DJ booth and club stages here in Memphis. Our next guest is sharing the story of the Beale Street Blues boy, B.B., in her latest book. Alice Faye Duncan, a National Board Library media specialist, joining us with a look at her work. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
So excited to hear about this. Tell me the name of the book and what it's about.
The book is Blues Boy, the B.B. King story. And it, of course, is about B.B. King, who is the one blues musician in America who put blues on the international stage. And I would like to say that I wrote it for children so that they could have B.B. King's 5 points to his success, which they can also apply today.
Okay, and B.B. is not the only real life person whose story you have told, right? So tell us what we'll get out of the book, what the kids will get out of the book, and then we'll talk about some of the others. But what do we get out of this book?
And so, as I said, Blues Boy, the B.B. King story, is his blueprint to rise, his blueprint to prosper. And what B.B. King did to succeed is what young people can now do to succeed. So what are those things? Well, the first thing B.B. King did is when he was a young person, he drafted a plan. The Bible says where there is no vision, the people, will not prosper. So when he was young, B.B. King had a vision for himself. He wanted to be a blues musician. The second thing that he did is he practiced excellence, right? He never quit. He didn't give up. When he was maybe not so pristine in his music, he kept going and kept on going until he got the notes right. Another thing that he did was he always got up each day with the intention to treat people right. His mother died when he was 9, and on her deathbed, she said, "Look, BB, if you put goodness in the world, goodness will return to you." And that's what BB did. And then the last thing that he did, not the last thing, but the most important thing that he did, and what I hope children get from the story, is that when times got hard for BB and many tragedies happened to him, his mom died, his grandmother died, his parents divorced, his bus caught on fire, was in a terrible accident, he owed lots of money. I mean, terrible things happened to BB King. But despite all of that, he never quit. He kept going, he kept on moving, and eventually he won. Not only did he win, financial success, but he became an icon of really generosity and philanthropy.
Wow, and tell us about some of the other profiles in your other books.
So, of course, I have been studying the life of Dr. Martin Luther King for over 30 years. I have a new book about him as well. It is called The Dream Builder's Blueprint, which gives Dr. King's 5 bullet points for rising and prospering even in trying times. Basically, Memphis history is really what I specialize in. Tennessee history is what I specialize in. So I've also written a book called Evicted, The Struggle for the Right to Vote, which is the story of those Fayette County farmers who decided that they wanted to vote, and when they did make this decision, they were displaced. They were put outside of their homes, and they lived in a place called Tent City for like over 2 years. But those Fayette County farmers are the farmers that actually inspired the voting rights movement that brought you to John Lewis on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. So the reason why I write is because there are so many histories that don't make it into the history books, but that does not mean they should not be amplified. So because I was a teacher for 30 years, I knew where the gaps in the curriculum were. And so now I write to amplify those stories.
Wow. Well, we were able to put your information up on the screen so people can get their hands on your books. Thank you so much for waking up on this cold morning with us. We appreciate your works.
Thank you.